Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. This is podcast number 15. It is July 28th, 2023. Topic of the day is eBay, or I don't know, lack of eBay. I don't know, you can look at it either direction. If you guys listened to my last podcast, I talked about a lot of the things I do when eBay is slow. And so just a quick update there. I have been doing that. I have removed about 700 items from my store that were very, very old. Some of them I didn't realize actually went back to like 2015, 2016. Not very many, but too many. And, so I cleaned that up. I've been listing 20 items a day. I've kind of played with some new items, put on some action figure magazines, and some coins and tokens and medallions that I've had sitting around here for, well, again, quite a few years that I just never thought I'd try it. But I thought, well, what the heck? I don't have a whole lot else to put on right now. I'm through the action figure collection, and I'm still sorting some comics. So kind of caught in between on that, and so that's what I've been doing. If you guys get a chance, click like, hit subscribe, check out our other videos and our podcasts. Today's topic, though, is eBay, and I'm not big on eBay rants. Good grief, you can find those infinitely on YouTube, on the forums. You don't have to search very hard, and you will come across it. But I have been noticing something that seems to be different this time around, and it regards slow sales. But here's the thing: if you've been on YouTube and the forums, everybody's howling about sales and views and visits and things dropping off. And it's pretty bad. It's the worst I can remember it. I've been on since 1997, and this is pretty much rock bottom, I have to admit. And right now they're blaming it on promoted listings not working. And I gotta tell you, I think that's all wrong. I'm not saying that's not part of the equation, but overall there's a deep core flaw somewhere in the eBay search engine. Things just aren't showing up. People everywhere just are not finding items listed on eBay, and I think there is something there to that. This has been going on. The general consensus out there in YouTube Landia and other places is that it's been going on a couple years. I think it's been a problem on and off for well over that, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe even longer. But I've never seen it hit rock bottom like this. And by rock bottom, so even during summer, because I've got a lot of comps, and I hate using that word, but it's one everybody uses now. And by that I mean, I can look at my sales and things and track it for quite a few years now. And the sales dip is pretty much what I expected. But now it's worse too. It's just completely gone into a deep dark pit. And the thing that I think is causing that, I think that's a symptom, not the disease. I think the thing that's causing that is people are not finding my listings. My number of watchers, usually even in summer on an average, say low day of the week, on a really slow day, I'm pulling in between 70 and 100 watchers just in general. And, during, the holiday season, while, I can clear 200 plus watchers in a day, per day on my items. And right now I'm getting 15 to 25. Every once in a while there seems to be a day I'll hit like 50 or 60, which is a little closer to average, but it's like one day out of 2 weeks, one out of 14. And it's not usually too big a deal. I didn't think it was too big a deal because watchers are kind of like, they're kind of useless because my experience is they don't translate into sales, but they are an indication that people are going and looking at my items, right? And I also use the watch list to send out offers. And I can't do that because I don't have anybody watching my stuff. So it's kind of this vicious cycle. And this is pure speculation, all right? I have no inside information on eBay or anywhere else. This is just from my observations. And this really seems to have gone off the rails back when they snuggled up to Google. And if you remember when they went back, I think it's been 3, maybe 4 years now. And that's when they first started coming up with this really wretched idea to add all these item specifics. And the whole reason to do that was so Google search could pick it up and Google search could find it. Well, I said a long time ago, over a year ago, that I did not think this Google eBay marriage was working out well for eBay. And I don't think eBay can do much about it. I know eBay's feeling the heat and getting the blame and feeling the pressure. But I think they've contracted this out to Google search. And this integration is not just flat out not working. And I can understand eBay's point of view. So I'm not a big eBay defender, but they needed to do something with their search. And I can't blame them for picking Google at the time to do this. It made actually a lot of sense on a lot of different levels. Where it seems to be falling apart is Google. Google ain't got it, man. They are not helping eBay. They're not helping sellers. They're not helping buyers. And this is turning into a really, really chronic issue. And if you look and you followed the, I guess the chatter, like I have, you'll notice that some people were completely dead while other people were having great sales. So it seems to be kind of like a rolling blackout thing where not everybody is affected at exactly the same time. But in the last, I want to say, I don't know, maybe month or so into June, there seems to be more and more people that are not selling than are. I'm not seeing as many videos that, hey, eBay's not dead, hey, we're doing great. I'm not seeing a lot of that, at least not near as many. And so there's something shifted. And I don't know what it is. My speculation is that the Google AI, the artificial intelligence, has basically gone brain dead. And I'm not big. I don't follow AI. I don't think they're going to take over the world because I don't think they really need to. But anyway, this whole AI thing, I've been seeing stuff online and other places and news articles that the chat was a GTP, I don't know how to spell it. Anyway, was really, really good, and now a few months later, it's really fallen off of a cliff as far as the quality of responses because it seems to be eating its own tail. It's picking up stuff from other AI sources, taking it as true, and things are basically getting blurred out or messed up, or it's just not working. The results just aren't there. And I can't back this up, but there sure seems to be a correlation with that type of resultant behavior with the eBay search engines. And they revamped this. So, you remember, well, several times really in the last year, they've gone on, you've went to listing, they've kind of streamlined the item specifics, they've changed some boxes, they've refocused things a little bit. So there's been a lot of changes going on behind the scenes on the eBay search, and that's with Google. Okay, that's who they're using, that's who's running this thing. And I think something similar has happened. It's either just can't figure it out anymore, or it's not registering. Whatever it is, the search engine results, I think, are at the core of these problems because they affect everything. Sales are down, affects that. We talk about all these symptoms, sales being the big one. Watch list being another one. I talked about that. Whatever you think of as a symptom. And speaking of symptoms, so this is kind of what triggered this train of thought for this podcast here. Is eBay released its second quarter results from 2023, and I'm not one of these guys that waits with bated breath to tear into corporate financials. I had to do that for undergrad and grad school, and I don't like it, so that's why I'm doing this. So can I do it? Yeah. Do I want to do it? No, and I'm not going to do it. But I have taken a little closer look at the reports. Summarized reports. I haven't read through their whole however many page full report. That's terrible. Don't do that. And a lot of people are rightfully pointing out that there's a decrease in users and customers, and that's both buyers and sellers. So if you've never thought of yourself as a customer of eBay, if you're a seller, you should, because you're paying these guys, right? I don't know what we're paying them for at the moment, but we're paying these guys. So eBay's customer base has shrunk, and it was down, and I've seen numbers anywhere between $2 and $4 million basically this year. So, since January 1st-ish. And I know it dropped off at the tail end of last year. I don't know what the total is. I haven't felt energized enough to really look. Now, overall, with eBay's user base in the hundreds of millions somewhere, that's a very small number. But it's an indication people are getting frustrated. And it's not just buyers are getting frustrated. Sellers are leaving. They're getting frustrated. And eBay keeps shooting themselves in the foot. And I can't blame them for Google on this. I think Google shot themselves in the foot here. But I think this international shipping, I was really, really pumped for that. I'll tell you what, I really thought that was going to be a good deal. And that's seriously flawed. And this is where eBay shot themselves in the foot again. And I'm not going to go into the big rant, but under the new international system, I can't combine orders. So if somebody orders 3 items, they have to pay for it individually. Or what they really should do, so if you're overseas and you're listening to this and you're looking at stuff in the U.S., contact the seller, say, hey, can you put it all into one listing? So I only have one shipping fee. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay the shipping fee 3 times. And what I've been seeing is my international sales, which were pretty solid, better than the domestic sales in the last couple months, they have dried up. And the few I've sold, I think about 40% have asked to cancel. They've paid for it. And eBay sent them the bill, and they're like, oh, no, I can't do this. So whatever they're doing, because I can't see the price anymore in the international, everybody's like, hey, can you adjust the price? Well, no, because I'm with the eBay shipping, international shipping. So I can't do anything. If they buy them individually and you go to combine an order, it will not let you combine that order. You have to ship each one individually, so, twice the shipping and so on and so forth. So, I don't know. That's something that's got me really concerned, and that's an eBay thing. And between that and I think the search problems, which is Google-based, something is really, really not right at the core of the eBay software design. Something is not working. And I've been on this a long time, okay? I am a 6-figure seller. That's all you need to know. I'm not going to tell you how much. So this is not something where I've just been out cleaning my closet. And this is my full-time job. I'm sitting here today. This is part of work, kind of a fun part of work. I'm taking a little break. It's a Friday. But I've already scanned a bunch of items to be put into eBay. I've already listed 20, over 20 items, 20 some items. Today I did my packing and shipping, which is really easy because nothing's selling. I think I had 4 items, which is terrible. I should have, even this time of year, a bad day should be 12 to 15 packages, and I'm at 4. I updated my website. Well, not my website. My eBay store page. Put on some new listings, revamped it, kept that fresh. I still have to do a Facebook post. So sometimes when I list new items, I'll do that Facebook crossover where it'll post it on my Facebook business page, say, hey, look at this, or whatever it is. I still have to do that today. But, I've been doing this. I've been doing the grind. I've been working on it. I get up 6:30 every morning. By 1 o'clock, I've got an easy 6 hours in of work. And I usually, if it's a good day, I'm usually done by 4 o'clock. If it's the holiday shipping season, I'm usually done by 6 or 7 p.m. Because I package stuff up constantly. I used to. So I just say that because I want you to know that this is not somebody that is just trying to sell something out of their junk drawer. And it's been very, very successful for me in the past, and very recent past. But now something is just off. And I've said this, and I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm setting aside a few test pieces, reselling pieces, mainly magazines, but just a few odds and ends, kind of a smattering of stuff. And I'm going to start putting them in Mercari. Now, I don't expect miracles there because I've never bought or sold anything on Mercari. I started an account last year when things got slow and stuff kind of rebounded and I got busy, but not so much this year. So I'm going to do some testing on that. I am not going to cross-list right now. So you can buy some software. It's a subscription kind of fee, and you can cross-list things that are on eBay over to Mercari, and I assume vice versa. I don't know. I've never used it. I'm not saying I won't use that. I'm just saying to start out, to test the waters. I really want to know the ins and outs of how to list on Mercari, because I think that's something, everybody, if you're doing this full time, you really need to know. You just cannot rely on a piece of software, another person somewhere that says, oh, we'll just cross this over, no problem. Especially because, on eBay, categories change, so you might have to move things from one category to another. You might have to do all sorts of, little detail things that do pay off. So I'm not anticipating this is going to be an eBay replacement at this time. And I have zero interest. I do not want to do this. I've got enough stuff because I am not just an online reseller. I'm not, I don't buy into the eBay lifestyle. I never have. I doubt I ever will. But here in a rural state, that is the only chance I have, the only outlet I really have to sell things. So if eBay is just not going to work, my stuff is going to start piling up. I'm going to have stuff coming out my ears. And it's not necessarily expensive stuff, but it's stuff I can move and I can make some money on, and it's already bought and paid for. And I'm not going to start a death pile. We had that conversation a while back too. As I am not a death pile guy. This is either going online, at a show, at an auction, or in the garbage. There is no death pile in my business model anywhere, and there's never gonna be. So this stuff has to get moved. It has to go somewhere, and I need to find an outlet that is going to allow me to do that consistently. Do that. Something else that I don't know, and I think this is part of the situation with the eBay search, and I don't know if this is a symptom or part of the disease. My suspicion is this is part of the disease. And eBay has so many restrictions on so many items. I think it's really causing a lot of problems with the search engine. And, you hear all the time about things that have been banned or thrown off of eBay, or people have been told you can't sell it, and some of them are legit. So I am not saying that it should be a free for all, but there's an awful lot of items that are allowed by eBay policy that are getting flagged. And I can tell you right now, if they're getting flagged, they're not coming up in a search. You're probably getting dinged on your account by having these items. Even if they haven't told you to remove them, if it's items they think should be restricted, nobody's going to your stuff. And I can guarantee you that it's AI doing this, because if anybody's ever called the help desk, especially in collectibles, nobody knows anything about what we sell on eBay, which is a huge problem. And this is where the ban on certain items is just ridiculous. Because it should be allowed. It's safe. It doesn't violate any rules. It's not obscene. And if you want some examples, there's some online. Anything from coins to badges to I'll say men's magazines. And I'm not talking like the really nasty ones. I'm just talking 50s, 60s pinup stuff that doesn't show anything. And I'm saying that because I have some. I tried to put 10 on. I think it took 3. And all 10 of the ones I picked, I did research on, and then they have listings that were at that time current and live on eBay. And I'd hit sell similar, and it would say it violated their policy. So here's something that they have listed for sale that they have not taken down, but I can't list it because it's a policy violation. So something is just not working there, and I think that's part of it. Is they got this thing wound up so tight on some of these restrictions, and I think it's AI and these bots are going through and scrubbing this stuff, and it ain't working. Whatever's going on with the AI, it just is a pretty close to a complete fail at this point. And, I think sellers are getting flagged for this merchandise, and they're saying, no, nothing's going to turn up from this guy because he's got flagged items. People that are looking for those items, if they're finding them, they're not finding very many, if any. And it's just a royal pain. But something fundamentally is going to have to change. Now, the eBay, back to the quarterly report, the second quarter report, is eBay's estimated earnings per share came up pretty close, but it came a little bit short of what the analysts and all the smart financial people thought it should. And so it took a 5%, I think it was 5% hit on their stock the first day, and it might have rebounded because that's actually not a huge hit, especially for 5%. But it is an indication that this is affecting their core business. This is affecting their cash flow. This is affecting their bottom line. And it's something that they're going to have to figure out fairly quickly, because this is not going to limp along like, say, a Kmart Sears situation for a decade or more, waiting for it to die. If people can't find what they're looking for, they can't afford to get it shipped to them if they're overseas. I can't sell things that I used to be able to sell great quantities of. This is a very vicious cycle. And, they're going to get saved a little bit coming up in about 3 months when there's going to be a seasonal bump. Rising tides, raise all ships kind of thing. But, it's not going to save them. They had that COVID bump, which they had nothing to do with. It was just a pure fluke that everybody sat at home and got online sales, which made them look really, really good, even though they were in the middle of this, Google item specifics debacle. They're not going to have that anymore. And whatever they think, and I don't know what this is, your Macaris, your Poshmarks, I know there's others out there. I'm not familiar with them. they're going to eat eBay's lunch. They're already starting to, you know. They're always kind of nibbling at the toes, you know, little piranhas on eBay's foot in the water. Well, now they're kind of getting up past the first couple of knuckles, and they're getting pretty close to the foot, and then it's going to be the ankle, and so on and so forth. Because if you're a good seller and you are a full-time seller, which is what eBay wants, they made it very clear they don't want the closet cleaning guys. You know, if they want full-time professional sellers, we have to be able to sell stuff. People have to be able to find their things. People have to be able to pay for them. People have to be able to, you know, if they're overseas, I don't know what they're charging because I can't see it anymore, but they're going to have to be able to afford it. So, you know, I don't know what the answer is, but eBay needs to get this fixed. And I don't know if they can, because I still think it's Google that is strangling this whole thing. I think Google search, Google's AI, Google's ads, Google's whatever, they're so wrapped up with, hey, pay extra fees. You know, I list and it says, you know, if you want to promote your listings, boy, I hardly see anything below 8% promoted listings fee. And a lot of them are 12, 13. I've seen 14% listing fees. Really? You're going to charge over 12.5% percentage commission on each sale, and then another 14%? Now, I am not a math genius or an astrophysicist, but when you start paying, you know, 22 to 26% to make a sale, what can you do as a reseller? You can't pay anything for the item. You know, it's like, well, pay me 50% for the item. Well, okay, and then you add 25% on, and then all of a sudden I got 75% of what the selling cost is. And, you know, if that's a high dollar item, you know, if that's, you know, $100 or better, well, yeah, you'll make some money. You know, you're gonna make your $25 to $35 on it. If it's a $25 item, you're not. You know, you're just not going to make that much. And you know, you take your costs of your business out. You know, your internet fees, for instance. You know, your shipping supplies fees, stuff like that. Well, good heavens. You know, you're not at 25%. You're probably closer to 35 to 45%. Well, then all of a sudden, you know, if you're selling it for $20 and you're making like $8, you know, $6 to $8 on a $20 sale, you're not going to get, you know, you're not going to get good sellers. I mean, eBay is going to really struggle to keep quality, competent sellers on there, because the full-time guys, if we need to pay the bills, you know, they're going to be like me, and I know a lot of them have already. But gosh, you know, why would I stay here? You know, if my fees drop, you know, by a considerable percentage, people can find my stuff. I don't have listing restrictions that stop me from listing items that should be allowed, well, that are allowed, but somehow aren't. Guys, it's really a tangled mess. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on this Mercari thing. My sister's coming into town next week. We're going to do a little garage sailing and antiquing and just drive around here. I think mostly in Iowa, maybe in Illinois a little bit. We'll see. I'll let you know. Hopefully I'll have some stuff to take a video of. I'll have some new finds on the road trip, so that'll be fun. Check that out maybe in a couple of weeks when I get back and get time to shoot the video. And that's it. So some of your thoughts. Let me know if you're an eBay reseller or even an eBay buyer. Just let me know what you've noticed that's different. If you're able to find stuff, people are able to find stuff. If you can't list stuff, I'm just curious. So I'm throwing it out there. So let me know. Be interested to hear your comments and feedback. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next time.